Hi everybody, thanks for stopping by. My name's FM18 and you're watching the Dafuge Challenge, episode 95, with Enfield Town FC. Well, the off-season wasn't exactly a disaster. Calamitous might be another word. You'll see why in just a second. These are the players who were released. Names everyone will know. Barry Cousins, Mark Gummersall, Nigel Omerod, Mackenzie Powell, maybe Darren Odling, possibly Adam Gretton. They weren't good enough for this level of football, and frankly I didn't feel like loaning them out anymore. Cousins may have had a spot on the bench, but he was 2-star current, 3-star potential for the better part of 2 years, and even going out on loan, he wasn't putting it together. He had the one really good season for us in League One, and he was okay in the championship, but last year he went back down to the National League with Rochdale, 32 appearances, 10 goals, 2 assists, a player of the match. He wasn't going to find a spot on the team here. The free transfers in, some of these guys are pretty good. They have some potential. First in, Wayne Clark, depth at the attacking mid and midfield position, 2-star current ability, 2-star potential ability, solid physicals, good mentals where they count, good technicals where they count. He's also a tutor. Joe Wildsmith is my new backup keeper. 3-star current ability, 3-star potential ability, a bit older, okay physicals, good mentals, good goalkeeping attributes where they count. Also tutoring one of the younger keepers. Mark Thompson is one of the 18-year-old potential players I signed. Okay physicals, his mentals and technicals could use some help, but he's 1-star current ability, 4-star potential ability. Colin Davies is another one of the under 18 players I brought in. 2-star current ability, 3.5-star potential ability on the defensive right back side. Could have a future there if he develops. The plan is to put him on the under 18 team this year and then loan him out next year and see what happens. Worst case scenario, he doesn't develop the way I like him to and I sell him on. And last but not least, I don't know if my scouts failed me on this or not. When I initially scouted him, he was 4.5-star potential ability. And then he got to the club, and he's only 3-star potential ability. But this is Dagoberto, 1.5-star current ability, 3-star potential ability, midfielder / striker. I don't know. 180 pounds a week, I'm not losing anything on this. Loan deals out. Doug Foster, Michael Proctor, Owen McManus, and Colin Davies. Hank Kremer, for whatever reason, did not want to come back. So I went out and found Ian Skinner, but that's only after Canna. I still can't pronounce his last name. The youth player, the 23-year-old from Man U who was on the loan list. I agreed on terms with Man United. I was paying all of his salary, and I was essentially paying everything for him. And he decided he didn't want to come here. So I found Ian Skinner, 18 years old, 4-star current ability, 5-star potential ability, really good physicals, decent mentals, decent technicals, plays a target man primarily. It's fit into the system pretty well. He's also an okay poacher when I need him to be. And as you can see thus far into the season, he's done really well for us. 1 goal, 2 assists, 7.82 rating. This is where the fun begins. The name that's going to stand out there is Milan Stankovic. When I originally signed him, I told him we would get promotion to the Premier League last year. And as soon as we didn't, I got a notification that said there's a ton of teams sniffing around him because his minimum release fee is £500,000. And I immediately offered him a contract. £15,000 a week, match earner clause, international goal bonus here. I had so many clauses and bonuses on his contract you literally were in danger of scrolling down to see it all. And he sat on it for 3 weeks. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Newcastle made him an offer for £500,000 and the board automatically accepted it. And I couldn't protest. The option was not there. And that opened the floodgates. He didn't sign the contract with me. He ended up going to West Brom, where he's sitting on their U23 team. He's done really well in the UEFA Championships. But I'm really kind of annoyed. I mean, I immediately signed a new contract. He would have been earning more money here than there. You know, £15,000 a week plus a 25% yearly increase in addition to a highest match earner clause as well. I mean, it's possible I could have bankrupted my team for this kid. Instead, I brought him in for $325,000. He goes out for £175,000 extra. I'm really kind of annoyed. Tom O'Hare went to Hearts for £375,000. Ian Irvine, my backup keeper, Dundee United really wanted him for some reason, and I let him go for £18,000. Ian McNally, I lost my temper with him last season, and he was just becoming a pill in the clubhouse. He was a clubhouse leader, and his attitude had just started to tank. He wasn't happy. I fined him last season. As Leluja would say, he pulled a grumpy. And I was like, I'm not having that on my team. And Dundee came after him for about £200,000. I got them up to £250,000, £300,000. They're pretty achievable goals. Nicky Hayward was a youth player that just never really developed on all the loan I sent him out on. He's got potential still, 4-star potential ability, but he has been a star and a half current ability since I picked him up 4 years ago. And it's not like he hasn't gotten some quality playing time on some decent teams. Okay, Beaconsfield was my old lower league affiliate. I let them go this year. But, 38 starts for Gateshead, 6 starts for Yeovil Town, 43 starts for Newport County, and those were all starts. He was a first-team starter on those teams, and just, he went out as a star and a half, came back as a star and a half. And I put him out there, and Chesterfield snapped him up. For a guy I got on the free, I came up £45,000 ahead. I'm okay with that. Michael Burry was upset he wasn't getting any playing time. I put him out there. Magdeburg snapped him up. Tom Frazier, I kind of went back and forth on. 3-star potential ability, 2-star current ability, 3-star potential ability. He was kind of getting lost in the shuffle on the midline. I loaned him out at the halfway point last season, and he did okay. He wasn't going to see full team playing time here unless someone got injured, and that just wasn't going to happen. Millwall came in with an unsolicited offer for £115,000, and I snapped it up. On the ends, first is Robert Wendell. From Germany, 3-star current ability, 5-star potential ability, 18-year-old center midfielder. He's one of the reasons I let Tom Frazier go. His physicals are average. His acceleration is kind of on the high side of average, but I really like his decision-making and his determination in the mentals. Honestly, his only drawback in the mentals is a 2 flare, which I don't think is a really big deal. His anticipation, his bravery, his composure, his concentration, they're all nice. His technicals, a couple of them could be better, especially his finishing, but his marking and tackling are good. His passing is okay. He's 18 years old. He's going to get starts. He'll definitely be a fixture on the midline as long as I don't screw up his contract as well. The only big signing we've made thus far has been Aaron Hammond from Fulham. Fulham got relegated last year, and a lot of their players were looking to leave. Aaron Hammond is a defensive center back, 3.5-star current ability, 3.5-star potential ability, 26 years old. I needed someone solid on the line to pair with Durante, and he's the guy. The other thing I like about him is that he's a better right back than he is a center back. And this year is probably going to be Phil Colwell's last year with the team unless he does something to change my mind, because I've got Keeley and Defo waiting for their chance, and I really think Keeley can really improve there. Hammond is a pretty solid player. Got solid physicals, good mentals. I really like his positioning and teamwork. His technicals are pretty good too where they count. 13 marking, 14 tackling, 14 heading. The argues with officials thing is his one big drawback. I went to give him some additional training. I was like, hey, can you stop him from arguing with the officials? And the coach was like, no, that's not going to happen. So he's learning how to switch the ball to the other flank. Again, I fell into that trap of going out and signing players or getting teams to agree to transfer fees, and then the player didn't want to join us because of our stature, or they didn't think we were going anywhere. We're still 2.5-star national reputation. We have secure finances, that's good. Our training facilities are only adequate. Our youth facilities are below average. I did have a couple of things in the off-season happen in that regards. The data analysis facilities were improved. So instead of a guy at home in a closet, he's at home on a sofa. Our grounds were completed. 450,000 pounds for 800 additional seats or something ridiculous like that. Our youth facilities are being upgraded yet again. And I asked for another affiliate club, and I went from lower Beaconsfield to lower Carshalton, who, if you've been here a while, we actually played in our first season. The season got off to, well, not the best start. I scheduled some bigger teams again, hoping for the TV revenue and the additional money. Aston Villa, Chelsea, Fulham, Arsenal. The Port Vale game was actually Tom Ashton's, I'm totally blanking on the word. It'll come to me after the video ends. But Tom Ashton's been with the team for 10 years. I'm going to keep him. He's a locker room legend, even though he's now down to a current half-star potential ability. He may or may not get some playing time this year. There's been a couple teams that have wanted him, but I want him to retire as a member of Enfield. Then we had games against Bournemouth and Plymouth. I was happy that we got through the preseason without any injuries, and then it was straight into the championship. We played Leeds our first game, and we got stomped. It doesn't look like it, stats-wise, but believe me, they stomped us. Amasur had a first-minute goal and a 31st-minute goal. Calvin Phillips had a 27th-minute goal. Durante got on board with a 22nd-minute goal off a set piece, which was nice. But it was annoying to watch. They were just so much better on the field than us. I don't know if it was because it was our first game of the season or what, but they absolutely dominated us in almost every category. After that was our Carabao Cup first-round game against Burton Albion, and we beat them 4-2. This was a good game for us. Ian Skinner had a 17th-minute goal. Rivero had a 29th-minute goal. Callum Lentil had a brace, 66th and 72nd minute. At the half, I went to the 4-4-2 diamond, and Lentil just came alive. Catherall had a 26th-minute goal for Burton Albion. Kirby had an 88th-minute goal. Kevin Nichols didn't miss his 35th-minute penalty. Ward absolutely blocked it, and then he blocked the follow-up, and then he blocked the third follow-up. It was absolutely brilliant, but you wouldn't know it by his 6.9. We ran Burton Albion into the ground. 24 shots, 10 on target. We also had 2 woodwork hits. Only 2 clear-cut chances, though. That was a little disconcerting. The 9 half chances were okay. The 11 long shots, on the other hand, I think it was one of those cases where Burton Albion was just so spread out defensively because they were man-marking everybody. And there were all these holes opening up from distance, and the guys were just taking every shot they could. Luckily, it worked out for us. After the Burton Albion game, we were away at Brentford, and this was a draw, 1-1. Justin Raymer had a 45th-minute goal for Burton Albion. We had an 81st-minute goal from Rivero, but this was after Colwell missed a 72nd-minute penalty kick. He just kicked it right at the keeper. I think we should have gotten more from this game. We had 11 shots, 6 on target. We also had 2 woodwork hits. Both were absolute sitters that clanged off the crossbar. Well, only 2 clear-cut chances, though. Again, 6 long shots. This ratio, where 50% of our shots is our long shots, is just, it's frustrating me, and I don't know why. Everybody was pretty solid, though. I was glad we were able to pull back the draw, especially after I thought we'd lost the game after Cole missed his penalty kick, but Rivero came through for me. After that, we were away at Sheffield United, and we won 2-1. Will Perry had a 20th minute goal for Sheffield United 2 minutes after Rivero scored for us, and then Phil Colwell. This was a bit controversial. Someone, and I don't remember off the top of my head, got fouled, and the Sheffield United players were absolutely bonkers, to the point I thought the ref was going to send a couple of them off. Instead, Phil Colwell had the 90th minute penalty kick. There was 7 minutes of extra time. I think Sheffield United had their last 2 shots of the half in that extra time because they literally parked the bus on us at the half. You know, they were comfortable giving us the possession. They were comfortable just watching us kick it around. At the end, though, their defense was in this bend but don't break mode, and if not for, I'll admit it, a controversial penalty, we wouldn't have won this game. We had 15 shots, 10 on target, 5 clear-cut chances, which was nice. The 3 long shots was very, very nice to see. We bossed them this game. And then we were home against Hull, and we drew this game 2-2. Rivero had a brace goals in the 30th and 45th minutes. Wassel had a 3rd-minute goal for Hull. Ennis had a 56th minute. We had our chances near the end of the game. We just could not put them away. Hull gave us a good game, and it was a pretty even match stats-wise. We had 17-8. They had 16-7. We also had another 2 woodwork hits, one of which was an absolute sitter. And again, our long shots, I'd like to see that a little bit less. It's half the number of shots we took, but I don't know. It just makes me uncomfortable. I can't explain it. And I don't know what this shot by Lentil was. Why on earth do they count that as a shot? It didn't clang off anybody. I watched it. Lentil literally, I think it was an assist that went wrong because he kicked it out to Colwell, and Colwell just he kicked it, well, let me rephrase that. He kicked it in the space Colwell should have been in because he was running that direction, but for whatever reason, Colwell decided not to run forward but to cut inside. It's one of the other reasons I'm thinking of letting Colwell go. So today, we are just going to play Colchester away with the transfer talk and the season review and everything like that. This episode would be really long if I tried putting in 2 live comms. So I'm going to set the best 11 for Colchester, and we will come back with that match in just a bit. Well, like a numpty, I forgot to hit the start record button when the scene started, so this is our starting lineup. Wildsmith in goal, Gardner, Hammond, Durante, and Colwell as the defensive back 4, Diaz, Lentil, and Wendell as the midfield 3, Wilson as the advanced playmaker behind Skinner and Rivero. It's been one of those days. King with a corner kick for Colchester, to Keane, Wildsmith with a nice save. Lentil with the free kick. Durante again. Okay. Now, coming up on a half hour, not a lot of action. We've had 5 shots, 2 on target to Colchester's 4 and 1. Huge possession advantage for us, which is pretty typical. Downing with the throw-in to Marquez. To Booth. Centers it in, off the crossbar. Kicked away by Gardner. Durante with the free kick. To Diaz. To Wilson. Back to Diaz. To Lentil, who passed it to Rivero, but Rivero ran the wrong way. Diaz with the ball. Back to Wilson. Out to Skinner on the left. Centers it to Wilson. To Lentil. Long. Okay. I need to figure out. I need to tell him how to stop taking long shots. Lentil with the interception. Diaz to Wilson to Gardner. Centers it to Wendell. Back to Diaz. To Wilson up to Skinner. Centers it to Lentil. To Rivero. Back out to Skinner. Oh, Laddie with a nice save, but Skinner gets the rebound and slots it past him on the left side. Well done. Well, the half should be ending here fairly shortly. Hamlin, long pass towards Marquez, but it's knocked away by Durante. Wendell to Wilson. to Diaz. Back to Lentil. Now he passed it, but it went right to Downing. Oh, long pass. Marquez is there. And his shot is very, very wide. 5 long shots out of our 11. That's not good. 11 shots, 4 on target for us. Nice possession advantage. We're doing really well. Hammond with the free kick. Taps up to Diaz. Back to Hammond, but it goes right to Booth. Marquez is there. He sends it to O'Donnell. His kick is errant, though. Hammond runs it down. Long pass, but it goes right to Welsh. He tips it up to O'Donnell. But Hammond steps in front of the pass again. Now Wilson's there, and he scores. That was... Wildsmith should have done a little bit more with that, I think. Well, Colwell's not having the best game, neither is Lentil. Laddie with the goal kick, rather. Durante knocks it down to Wendell, to Wilson, who sends it up to Rivero. Back to Lentil. Out to Gardner on the left. Taps it to Diaz. Over to Wilson, to Lentil. To Wendell. Up to Rivero, but too hard. Now Marquez has it, taps it up to Wilson, who got behind the line. Wildsmith with a nice save. Okay, I'm going to make a couple changes here. Hammond is going to come over to fullback and replace Colwell. Venturi is going to move on and take Colwell's spot. And Collins is going to come on and replace Lentil. Diaz with the corner kick in, knocked away, but Collins is at the top of the box. Shit. Long shot, hits a crossbar. You know what, did I do that for Diaz again? To Wendell on the right, from Collins. He dispossessed by Booth. Son of a gun. I guess Collins didn't hit the bar. I guess Clegg Laddie punched it and hit the bar. Downing with the throw into Dolan, to Wilson. Back to Downing, to Booth. To Wilson, dispossessed by Wendell. Nice job. Don't kick it back. Durante, don't. Dang it. O'Donnell to Irvings, and Wildsmith picks it up. Jeez. Wildsmith with the kick goes right to Welsh, who sends it over to O'Donnell for Colchester. Irvings has it, centers it to Dolan. Durante knocks it away, though, but it goes right back to a Colchester player, who sends it up to Wilson. Now has it in the center. Wildsmith with a nice block. O'Donnell centers it. Wilson's there. And son of a... Booth to Wilson. Wildsmith made a nice save. O'Donnell ran it down. Wilson came up, and Booth just... Or Wildsmith, rather, just didn't get back in time. Gardner with the throw-in to Collins, up to Wilson, over to Wendell, back to Collins, who taps it up to Skinner. Rivero has it now. Back to Wendell, to Diaz, to Wilson. Okay, Durante gets the ball, but he sends it right to Booth. Venturi runs it down, up to Gardner. To Collins, to Wilson, who's dispossessed by Dolan. Irvings has the ball now. Back out to O'Donnell. Long pass. Booth is there. Wildsmith with a very nice save. We're going to lose this game, aren't we? Downing to Winstanley. Back to Downing. Wildsmith picks up the errant pass. Gardner. Oh, he almost lost it. Venturi has it. Up to Gardner. Across the field to Wendell. Long pass towards Skinner. Back to Wendell. Taps it up to Collins. To Hampton. Downing steps in front of the pass, but... son of a gun. Second round. Dang it. Well, in the immortal words of Bart Simpson, that sucks and blows. You know what? We're going to come back for Sheffield Wednesday, Rotherham. Well, we weren't that active in the transfer market, and we lost one of the better young players. That's the second year in a row that's happened to us. We didn't get off to the hottest start. Our preseason wasn't all that great. And now we lose to League One Colchester in the second round of the Carabao. That doesn't bode well for this season. I'm going to have to change some things around, but I don't know what. And really, I'm not much of a tweaker when it comes to messing with things. You know, I'm not going in and adjusting roles and rules and shouts every 10 minutes and things like that. It's pretty basic. I set it and I let it run. So I think offline I'm going to have to watch a couple of games off of key highlights, just see if I see any trends developing or anything like that. And then come the January transfer window, you know, if I have to move some players out, I will move some players out. But the goal this year is mid-table. So that's what we're aiming for. And right now, it looks like we're not going to get there. Hopefully, this is just a phase, and we can climb our way out of the hole that we've just dug ourselves. If you liked what you've seen and heard, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel for more content. Questions, criticisms, comments, leave those down below. I will answer them as fast as I can. My name's FM18. I thank you for watching.